Welcome back, everybody, to our Meet the Dean series. We want to start again with not necessarily only looking at our academic colleges, but looking at the different deans that we have that are here to support all of the colleges on our campus. So today we'll be talking with Dean Phame Camarena as he talks about the William Conroy Honors College here at New Mexico State University and some of the things that they get to do that may differ from how they also work with all the different colleges that are on our campus. Thank you for joining us once again, and we'll start off with Dr. Camarena.
So my name is Phame. That's how I have students reference me, but I am Dr. Camarena. I am Dean of the William Conroy Honors College. I'm a native of California, and after leaving my undergraduate education, decided that I wanted to go somewhere different. Wound up in Pennsylvania, and over the years working on my master's and PhD, and then as a professor, as an administrator, I have lived in and worked in Iowa and South Dakota, and Massachusetts and Pennsylvania. I really am happy to be here as the Dean of the William Conroy Honors College at New Mexico State University.
Now, Dean Camarena, as we've been going through our series, we've been talking about the different colleges and how they work together. So how do you get to work with the different colleges here on our campus and the different deans that we have?
Well, and I think part of it is I have to explain what is honors, right? And so the Honors College, if you had to use a different phrase, think of us as the Center for Undergraduate Academic Excellence. For any student in any major, in any discipline, in any field, if a student is looking to do more and have something special for their undergraduate education beyond what most students want to do, not that any student couldn't do it, but that most students don't want to do those things, we're there to work with students across all the traditional academic colleges, and I work with all the deans to make sure that we are identifying students who are looking for more, who are capable of more, and helping them aim higher and achieve in ways they might not otherwise have done. And so I'm going to give you 4 concrete examples of things, because this might be relevant to your own interests. So for instance, I work with all the deans across all the colleges to encourage undergraduate students to work on research, scholarship, or creative work with faculty. We're research. We're a university. That means that we create knowledge here, right? We don't just teach knowledge. We don't just give you the textbook. We write the textbook. We do the work that makes the textbooks. As an undergraduate student, if you're motivated, you can work with professors that are making the textbook. So part of my job is to help students connect to faculty across colleges and departments with faculty to work on projects. The leaders of the world, mostly, for good or bad, are college educated. So you're becoming a leader by being a college student, but our job is to help students really engage with the activities outside the classroom and inside the classroom that will make them leaders in their discipline or field. Again, it doesn't matter what major, it doesn't matter what other academic college you might be. Honors students that I'm trying to encourage, are students that really want to become leaders. And that's who I'm looking for, is to help those students. We're the land-grant university. That means we have a mission to serve. So in every college, we do outreach. We do service. I care about justice issues, and I think that our mission as a university is to do research and service that makes the state, the region, the world a better place. And so if a student is looking for unique opportunities to aim high and do more than most other students to be a leader in the world and to serve with outreach for justice, I can help. I can provide opportunities, resources, and guidance across all majors and fields. And the last area is we really are trying to promote students to be global citizens. We're in the borderlands region, we're national identities and border identities and just identities in general are a little more complicated, but we're all members of the bigger world. Unfortunately, most of our students don't have a lot of exposure to the bigger world. For students that are willing to take the risk, my job is to work across colleges, departments, and majors to challenge, support, and encourage students to study abroad, to become global citizens and leaders outside the local communities, even outside the state, even outside the region. And by the way, every issue that's local probably has an international component, and every global problem has an issue at the local level. So those are things that all the other deans kind of have in their colleges, but my job is to find students that are bright and motivated and want to do more, and then to help them achieve. Most students think honors means harder, faster, more work, or it's only for us to select few elite students. It's for students that want to change the world for good, that really want to do more with the university besides get good grades, get a major, and get a degree. Everybody's going to do that. But honors students are supposed to do more. And that really is my job. That's what makes the honors college and the honors dean a little bit different, because every one of my students is a student in another college just as well. So I'm there to cheer you on. I'm there to help identify you and to challenge you to do more.
We know structures are completely different at various institutions. So who are some of the deans that also get to help you out with some of the work that you do in the Honors College?
So I'm a little bit of a, just so you know, because of the kind of dean that I am, I meet with the other deans, I work with the provost, who's the chief academic officer, I work with the president, I work on policies at the whole level with all the other deans. But I'm also a little bit like a department head in the sense that I also work with all the other department heads to select honors courses, to provide opportunities for students to take classes that are a little bit different. But to help do all of that, and for each of these things that I said, like global citizenship, right? We're going to help you aim higher. We're going to help you identify scholarship programs that'll help you become national leaders. So that's where we have an associate dean who takes some of the leadership for some of those activities. And I have a director who also works with our National Scholarship Program. And that's important because, again, all of these things are for all students across all of the university. Mostly we're focusing on students who have a 3.5 GPA during their college years. It's not that we only do that, but those are the students that really wind up gravitating to us and that I'm reaching out to say, you're doing great in the classroom. Now what can I help you do outside the classroom? What can I help you do more? The National Scholarship Office is a service, not just for honor students, but for everybody. And so having an associate dean to help us navigate all of this collaboration across all of the university, having a National Scholarship Director that really provides direct services to students. We identify these major scholarship programs and think of them as national leadership programs. And then we help students prepare for those materials. There's other honors faculty across all of the college. So whatever your major is, whatever your college is, there's faculty in that college and major who have already identified and said, I want to be an honors faculty member. I want to be someone who we can reach out to help with students who want to do more. So I don't have any of my own faculty. I don't have anybody that's just my honors faculty. I share faculty across all of the colleges. I have an associate dean to help me coordinate across all the departments. And then I have a director who really helps provide very specific services for national scholarships and for international education. And then students from all across campus. By the way, for the Crimson Scholar Program, there are over 3,000 students who are eligible in any given semester who are taking honors courses or who get priority registration or other benefits from being part of that project. And so we help coordinate all of that.
And how can students fully utilize the dean's office?
So I think that once you understand what we do, and that's why I said if any of those four things sound like that's of interest to you, like, yeah, I'd like to work with the professor on a real world project, okay, we can help connect you. If you're not sure who to go and see, you could literally email me, call our office, click on our website. Honors email is honors@nmsu.edu. It's that easy. And remember, my email is phame, P-H-A-M-E, @nmsu.edu. So it's really easy to connect. So if you're interested in research, scholarship, creative work with the faculty member, but you're not sure how to do that, just let us know. We'll help. If you want to become a leader on campus, now I know your office here is going to help with that. I get that. But we really focus on the academic leadership part. So if there's something that we can be doing or helping, again, an email, phone call will work just fine. If you've never thought about study abroad before, and if you have the idea of going overseas, it sounds terrifying, reach out to us. I'm going to be leading, starting in the next year, a program for first-time international travelers, students that haven't been out of the country before. All right, let's go together. Let's go to Europe even and see what's this European thing all about, right? We got some perspectives on Europe that are interesting. Let's go see. But to go with me, to go with other faculty, to go with other students, it suddenly makes it that much more manageable. So email, phone call, just click on the honors web pages. You're going to see the kinds of things that we do. And remember, my job is to help any aspiring, bright, motivated student who wants to do more with their academic experience. I can help. And if I'm not the one, then I'll be able to put you in contact with somebody who can.
What are some of the misconceptions that the honors college might have that we can kind of get past?
Yeah, I want to be real clear that part of why I came here to NMSU is this honors program in particular, the honors curriculum, the honors coursework, the honors things, they've been real intentional to be as inclusive as possible. So we know not everyone's going to have a 3.5 GPA. And in fact, if you don't have that 3.5 GPA and you see an honors course that you'd like to take, or you hear about an honors activity, you can petition me. You can literally just send me an email and say, hey, Phame, I see this thing, it looks cool. Can I do that? Probably. And so I give credit because mostly people think honors means elitist or exclusive. But think of it more as not every student really wants to do the same kinds of things. And so we really are trying to provide resources for students who are more motivated, who aren't struggling with their coursework, who are doing fine with their coursework, but then who are looking for something more. So often issues of are we elite? Are we exclusive? Not intentionally, sometimes it might be perceived that way, so that's a great question. And the other thing is I think people think honors means hard. And so in high school at least, I know honors often means AP coursework or honors coursework, and I think most of the time that is harder and faster. It's more work, right? So when we're identifying honors courses that you're eligible to take, we tell the faculty, please don't make it harder. Please don't just pile on the work. Could you make it enriched? Could you make it hands-on? Could you make it special in some unique way? And then there's courses that will offer as honors coursework that will still meet general education requirements or other requirements that you can't take in regular departments because they're interdisciplinary or because they're not in the regular bulletin. We have more flexibility in how we create things. So please, when you hear honors, don't think harder, don't think it's faster, don't think it's more, but you are in a class with a lot of other highly motivated students. And so the professor will expect you to have the reading done on time because everybody will do it. But that's pretty cool to be in a classroom. If you're motivated, to be in a classroom with other students that are as motivated as you are, that's actually pretty cool. So that really is kind of how I want you to think about it. And by the way, if you even just take 6 credits of honors upper division coursework, that leads to an honors certificate, which goes on your transcript and it says, hey, I'm a high ability, bright, motivated student. Now, there's a more complex program. It's 18 credits, most of which double counts with your major of general education, and that requires an honors capstone project. But again, it doesn't mean that you're that somehow that you've struggled to do all this extra stuff. It means that you've worked with us, you've coordinated your coursework, and you've done some special things that make you distinctive and help you stand out. And then your transcript says, University Honors Graduate with Distinction. And for any of you who are planning to go on for high-profile internships or medical school, law school, graduate school, or just a good job where it's going to be competitive, this tells people that you're willing to do something special. It does mark you as being something not better. I never say honor students are better, and I never say honor students are the best and brightest, because there's a lot of judgments and what does best mean and what does brightest mean. But honor students are motivated, and they are bright, and they are curious, and they're willing to do good work. So I apologize for the stereotypes that are out there. I was a first-generation college student going off to college, and there was a professor that tapped me on the shoulder and said, you should be in our honors program. I had no idea why, and it just sounded like a lot of work to me. But he was right. He was right. I had become a learner. I had become someone who was excited, and I wanted to make a difference for the world and the good. And I knew that my degree would help. And having an honors degree did provide me with opportunities and challenges I otherwise would not have taken. And that's what I'm here to do for you, I promise.
And Dean, as we get to know you a little bit more, were you able to get to know the Honors College deans and during your educational journey?
So I never met the honors dean where I was at, but I did work with the honors faculty. And the honors faculty, of course, were coordinated by the honors dean to provide the services. You know, as the dean, part of what I do is I help provide the leadership and the guidance for how we think about honors. See, in lots of places and lots of universities across the nation, honors does mean harder and elitist. In lots of places it does mean faster work, and it does mean we're only going to allow this many students to do things. Well, I didn't come here for that, right? So I provide the leadership that helps ensure we don't do that. And that's what's so cool, is that I really get to help shape that. But what did shape me as an undergraduate is my notion of college was about passing classes, getting grades, and then I figured I'd get a job. And that's what most students do. Remember, in the year that you graduate, think about how many thousands of graduates there will be at that very same year that you're graduating. There's thousands and thousands every year of new college graduates. And you can be proud of being a university graduate. You can be. NMSU is a great university. You can be proud of that. But if people want to do more and they want to start to aim higher, then we have to start distinguishing ourselves and have to make our resumes look better and stronger. And that's what honors did for me. They structured a program so that professors would identify some strong students who were doing well in courses and who seemed really motivated. And that's why the professor approached me. It wasn't that I was the smartest kid in the class. I was curious. I wanted to ask questions. I would go to the office hours and say, can we talk about this? Not because I was worried about getting it wrong on the exam, but because I just thought it was cool, right? I was a sociology major. I started as an engineering major, and then I was a sociology major. And I just thought it was so cool, studying people and ideas and things. That's why he pulled me aside and said, you're bright, you're motivated, but you like to learn. You should be in my honors things. That then encouraged me to say, okay, if I'm doing this, what else can I do? And so the next thing you know, I'm a teaching assistant. I'm helping the professor grade exams. I was a peer mentor working in a program on sexuality and stress in the health education office, but I had been referred by that professor. So honors kind of got me involved with all these other things. And then I did an honors research capstone project, just like you can do here. And that then led me to grad school. That then led me to a whole nother world where I did work with deans and I did work with other administrators. And that's where I saw that the administrators, they kind of help provide the leadership. They provide the guidance for how we do what we do and where the university is going. And that's why I'm here as a dean now. I want to take what I've learned from what I've observed, caution against the mistakes that are easy to make in honors, and make sure that we're steering ourselves in the right direction. So no, I didn't even know who the honors dean was. I never would have known, and this is a wonderful way for me to be introduced to you. So thank you for giving me the time to say hi.
When looking at your educational or career journey, was becoming the dean something that you were aiming for? Or was it something that you kind of fell into or grew into?
So, this is the cool part. So I was a first-generation college student, and most first-generation college students, first in the family to go to college, have, I'm going to say, a small world view. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean that in the sense of we know what we've been exposed to, right? And so to me, being an engineer was an amazing opportunity, and nothing wrong with being an engineer. But I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it because it was going to be a good paying job and I could have a fancy house and I could do it, but I wasn't passionate about it, right? It couldn't be my life. It would be a job. I'd go to work, I'd come back, and then I'd have my other life. But as a college student and as an honor student, I began to see people who were passionate. I began to see people who were super motivated for what they were doing. And I just loved that the university was a place that changed people's lives. And it didn't change it in the way that, I'm not going to change your life the way I want you to be. I provide opportunities so you can become something you never imagined you could become. And I could see that. So when I launched off to go get my graduate degree, a master's and a PhD, I know those sound impressive, but they're just more training. It's just more experiences. It's just more opportunity. You don't have to be brilliant to get a PhD, I assure you. But you do have to be disciplined and motivated. You have to have a why. You have to care about why you're doing. And because I realized the university could change lives, I wanted to go to the university and study, how do lives get changed? What does the university? Why don't some people make it to the university in the first place? Was it luck that I wound up at the institution that I did? What could have happened so that I never would have achieved my dreams? Remember, I didn't even know there was an honors dean. I didn't know that was a thing as a college student. I guess there was one, but I'd never met that person. I didn't know. But I did see faculty, and I did see professors studying issues that I cared about in sociology. I saw them looking at real-world problems, and this is cool, this is interesting. So in my graduate training, and graduate school is not like undergraduate school, I took a couple classes, but I was out in the community. I was helping people. I was working on projects. I was developing programs. I was doing real-world work and teaching and working on research in areas that mattered. So I never would have said that being a dean was a goal. I never would have said that being an honors dean was a goal. But at each step of the way, I would see the people ahead of me, and I would learn from them, and I would say, I like what that person does. I think I could do it. In fact, if you think you could do a better job than the professor in your classroom, like you go, oh, I could do better than that. That tells you something. It's okay, then I dare you. If you think you could be better, then you do it better. And that's what I did, was at each step, I would say, I really like this. And so, because I was an honor student and it changed my life, across whatever else I was doing, I always kept my hands in honors. I always mentored honor students. When I was a PhD student, I recruited undergraduate students from honors to work in our research laboratory. I would mentor them. There was a senior ed advisor who was mentoring me, but I would mentor the undergrads, and they would be honor students. And if they weren't in honors, then I would say, why aren't you in honors? Because you should be, right? And when I became a professor, it was the same thing. I reached out to the honors college and said, hey, I'm a new professor here. I'm available to help students, send people my way. And so at each step of the way, honors made an impact on me. I was trying to give back. And I would say that to everybody. Yeah, whoever impacts your life, either pay forward or give back. And that's what I was trying to do. So I never planned to be an honors dean, never planned to be a dean. But each time I would work with honors, I would see the potential to change lives for good. So my mission is to use education to transform lives. That is my mission in life, it is. And being an honors dean is one way that I can do that, only one way. If I wasn't doing this, I might be the director of admissions, or I might work in the counseling center, or I might, whatever it is, I would still be trying to help students' lives be transformed by education. The honors dean is the best job on campus, though. I work with students from across the whole university, all majors. They're all motivated. They all want to do good in the world. At least I want them to do good in the world, and I bug them about doing good in the world. And I get to see lives changed. That is a privilege. Absolutely, that is a privilege. I love the life that I live. And as opposed to my first dream in college, this is not a job. This is my life. This is my life. I have no hobbies. I have no other things. It's not entirely true. There's things that I love to do. But this is what I do. I am the honors dean. It is my identity. I love it.
Now, as we know, students get into middle school and high school, you hear honors a little bit more. So with that, how would you best want to give advice to help students get ready for their college experience if they wanted to start off with the honors college?
Yeah, so there's two different issues that I want to kind of highlight, and I would say this to any students that I work with out in the area, and the students that I work with once they get here. In terms of preparing, you don't become a star athlete without practice. You don't become a great musician without practice. You have to start putting time into that. But the time doesn't just have to be homework. So for instance, being able to read well, being able to read quickly and remember. So if a middle school student starts reading more, whatever they're excited about, and reads lots of different kinds of things, they're doing two things. They're getting their brain used to reading and process material very quickly, but they're also exploring the world of ideas and possibilities. That's a concrete example of how easy it is to do some things. That means you have to have access to the books, but most of us can access a book, and whatever library is nearby doesn't have to cost money, and just read. You'd be amazed at how much of a difference that makes. But like I said, if you're reading different books about different things, or different magazines about different things, wherever your passions are, that really helps you both develop your skills, but it also helps you think about who I want to be. And then I try to remind folks that rather than think about a job title, so even going back as early, again, middle school or back, most of us can go back and say, when I was little, I wanted to be something. But we often think of it as a job title. I want to be a teacher, right? Or I want to be a doctor. And I always have students stop back and ask as early as they can, why do you want to be that teacher? Why do you want to be that doctor? Because sometimes we're hung up on the job title and what we think the job is. The job is almost never what you think it is, right? Being a teacher is not what you think it is. You ask any teacher, right? It's being a teacher. No, it's different. The question is, why do you want to do that? What's your mission? What's your purpose? And so if students very early on say, what I really want to do is this. I want to accomplish this. I want my life to be about this. So if someone says, as I did, when I decided that engineering was not my passion, what I realized was that I wanted to help people. And I wanted to work with young people because I could see how the decisions we made in adolescence and young adulthood would shape the rest of our lives. I saw it was true for me. I said, wow, I think I could help with this. So saying I want to help young people doesn't tell me how I'm going to help them, right? And so the neat thing was that I could take all these different courses in different fields and programs, and I could talk to people, and I could go out and shadow people, and it was fun. It was an exciting time. I didn't figure out what my major was till I was a senior. It didn't matter though, because I was still taking psychology and sociology and communications. I was taking it all anyways, because it was all about people and how I might help them. It was as a senior I finally decided what my career path was going to be, and even then it was just a path, not a job title. And so, again, no one knows that honors dean is a job, right? And I love my job. But I sure didn't know that as a middle school student. But I was curious, I was a reader, and I was trying to figure out what I was excited about. And when I realized it wasn't science and engineering, but that I was analytical and that I liked to think, who knew you could do that about people? Oh, I didn't. That you could think and analyze people. That's what I do. So I took the same skills that I had started developing younger, found a passion, and that's what's led me to where I am now. Remember, no one becomes a star musician overnight. No one becomes a star athlete. They practice. And the practice isn't as much fun as the game itself. It's not as much fun as the concert itself. But the practice is important. And that's not just homework. That's engaging our minds. It's reading about the things we're interested in. It's talking to the people. And if we do that, I think you'd be surprised that anybody can be an honor student if they want to be.
And as we know, hindsight is 20/20. Now we know a lot more than we knew back then. What are some of the advice or tips that you would want to give yourself as an undergraduate or maybe even a graduate student?
So you know how universities have little catchphrases, they have little marketing things. So one of NMSU's is be bold, right? You've probably seen it on things. It says be bold, and it's nice and big. My job as honors dean is to help students be bold with their education and to take risks, honestly, to take risks. If you're afraid of doing this activity with me because it might lower your GPA just a little bit, I say be bold, right? So when I was an undergraduate student, I thought it would be really cool to do a study abroad program, not for a whole semester, but to do this thing where I'd go to another country and do an internship or service project. I chickened out. I mean, I had all kinds of excuses for why I didn't do it, but to be honest, I wasn't brave enough. It just scared me. By the way, that's why I now lead international programs for first-time international travelers who might be afraid to go. Go with me. Go with me. Or go, with Michael. Go with someone else who can lead a program with you. But the be bold part, we don't become exceptional, we don't do special things if we don't have some courage. And even sometimes changing a major is being bold, right? When I left engineering and found that I wanted to work with people, that was more exciting to me, that's when I became a learner. That's when I became an honor student, because I was suddenly passionate. But it was hard to leave that. It was hard to leave a job that I knew I could do and that I could be good at. I could do it. I can't imagine my life now had I not found the other path. That I had courage for. That I had courage for. Even if it wasn't the thing that my family wanted me to do. It's what I had to do. And by the way, now they're proud of me. Now they say, okay, this is good stuff. But they didn't understand. They didn't know what a PhD was. They didn't understand why I wanted to keep going on, why I had to. I didn't have to, I wanted to go on for more education. So I say, in hindsight, be bold. Don't be afraid of the things that take you on a slightly different path. And that's why seeking the mentorship and seeking the help of those around you that can provide those resources can really make a difference. So be bold. NMSU has it right, okay? That's the one tagline. That's okay. Thank you. Be bold with your education, honestly.
Now, Dean, I've been asking quite a bit of questions. What are some of the things that you want to talk about that I might not have brought up yet?
What I really care about is, and thank you for asking, I think what I really do care about is that students understand that we can be there for everybody, even if you're not the 3.5 GPA student. There are lots of ways to be bright and smart besides the standard academic curriculum. So one of the things that I like about honors and about being the dean is there's a provision that any student can petition and say to the dean, I would like to be a part of this honors activity. Okay, but I don't have the 3.5 GPA that I'm supposed to. If I know that you're doing it for the right reasons, you're being bold by asking me and doing the petition, of course I'm going to help you. And so please remember that I'm trying to support motivated students who want to change the world for good, use their talents, develop their abilities, become better thinkers, work with faculty, do an international experience, become a leader in some way you've never imagined. If that's you, then be bold and ask me. And don't worry about the GPA part, and don't worry about those other things. Those are all artificial. Those are all made up. And so I have respect for students that are bold and willing to take the risk to try, honestly.
And thank you, Dean, for encouraging our students to be bold and ask those questions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.